So I haven't posted for a while. Things have been happening, not only here on my little farm, but all around the world. The most amazing things are happening. Change at a rate I've never seen before in my life. Swings from one side to the other. It's unbelievable. Anyway, so on this video episode, coming out of sort of a week and a half before Christmas, what I'm basically going to do is just look at how everything's grown and what I've got coming. Very interesting times. Gladies are selling well. Got $1.50 on them. I had $2 last year. I don't know what happened there. First couple of zucchinis. The flowers. And lots of seedlings. 3 weeks into driving around Australia in a 4-wheel drive truck that I built, COVID struck, so all the plans had to change. We ended up buying an abandoned dairy farm in northeast Victoria, fertile riverfat country with billabongs all over the place, home to a vast variety of wildlife. Join me as I explore the joys of small farming, the wonderful wildlife we have, and as I try to make sense of this crazy world we all live in. This is the second year for the potatoes, or potatoes on a larger scale, and they were a success last year, and they're obviously, as you'll see in a few minutes, they're a big success this year. They work very well in this country. One of the problems I have is digging them. You're digging them 35, 36 degrees Celsius, and I'm out there in the sun with a pitchfork, and there's a lot of them. I'll have about 750 kilos this year, and I'm not a young man anymore, so that's a big problem. But we'll see what we can do. It's I should get a machine, but it's not really. I don't really have enough for a machine. I really need to sort of pay the value of the machine in the first year. The sunflowers have done really well. I sowed them in mid-October, and they're coming up. They've got flower heads on them now. They're just the black seed stock feed sunflower seeds that I've used. They grow really well. I use them just for stock feed. They go into the chooks because of the high protein level. And they're good for the soil too. The zinnia flowers are really the backbone of what I do. They're a really good seller. Once you get them going, they're pretty hardy. The germination rates of them aren't that good, particularly when it gets hotter, as it is now. So I've sort of probably finished the germination of them now. I've got as many in as I can. Looks a bit weedy there, but they grow up and dominate. So in about a week's time, I'll start picking, and every morning I'll pick about 6 or 7 bunches for $5 each, and Bob's your uncle. This is my main garden bed now. I've got trellis in the middle, and I've got cucumbers with a zucchini on each post, and I'll tie the zucchinis up the post as they go on. That mulched area where I had the garlic, that's now, I think I've got some, I don't really know what I've got in there actually, to tell you the truth. I've got some lots of capsicum in there. I think I've got a few yellow zucchini down the bottom, and there might be a couple of I think there's a few watermelon in up the top, but we'll just see. It is what it is. Well, how are the chickens? Well, last episode I reported on a dog attack, which I lost a lot of black australorps, and this episode, what happened is I've got we had a big power outage, and it was planned, but it didn't work the way I expected. It was a cloudy day. I couldn't run off solar, and we lost them. So the eggs had to go out, which is a bit of a disappointment. Anyway, they went back to nature and turned into the soil. That was all good. So I don't know if it's clear from in the image, or it's a bit of video, is that they look pretty good, healthy birds to me. Just disregard the feathers, because they always look like this at this age. But they're all big and strong, and they're running around, and they're vibrant, and they're also got a lot of short legs in there, which not much comb happening. I can see a couple might have a bit of comb. So I think they're mainly hens. My sexing experiment may have worked, I think. As always, the test of the pie is in the pudding. If that's the right, anyway, you know what I mean. We'll wait and see. And if we have all hens, it'll be quite good. As with that lost 3 trays, 300 eggs, I found in the past that it doesn't necessarily mean that an egg hatched is a quality chook. It has to be a good incubation to get a good outcome. So I got rid of all those eggs because I was pretty confident that they wouldn't have mounted to good, healthy, strong hens. Which I have from these first two trays I incubated. They're fantastic looking birds. So, you've got to feed a poor hen the same amount as you have to feed a good healthy one. So, and food is expensive, real expensive. These are all last season's black australorps that I have left after what I'm thinking is a dog attack. They actually make quite a nice little flock, and it's funny, you know, you sort of hear about pastured birds and free range and all this sort of stuff. These bloody black australorps have never looked healthier than I've got them in this little shed, you know. All nicely well ventilated and lots of light coming in, and they've got plenty of food down there, and a drinking bowl, and the nesting boxes up there. There's a little head coming out. 2 little heads coming out. They're sort of prone to this, the black australorps. The light Sussex would never sort of scare like that, but yeah, gorgeous big rooster there. One of my wife's colleagues from the operating theatre gave me him. He's a lovely big fella. One of my morning routines is to pick the flowers for the store for the day. I actually quite enjoy it, you know, just wandering around, and it's laborious because you're doing the same thing, but you sort of work out a process and how to hold them and how to hold the secateurs, and you knowing which ones to pick and which ones not to pick, and you're doing a bit of weeding at the same time to keep the weeds down. And it's quite pleasant really, there in the morning, you know, cool of the morning. These gladdies, I'll leave them in. The row I'm in at the moment is this the second year, the other 2 rows the first year. and I'll leave the bulbs in and I'll mulch them over again, and they should be good. My growing of seedlings has improved out of sight for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I've got the little glass house going, but secondly, I had my brother over to stay for a few days from Tasmania, and he has a horticultural background. He gave me a master class in potting soils, so and a couple of other things, and that's really improved the quality of my seedlings. Just out of the park completely, to the point where I've got quite a few down on the roadside stand, and I'm actually selling a few. It's a lot easier than the vegetables because I don't have to bring them in every day. I don't have to worry about food safety. I don't have to keep them cool or all the rest of it. So it's working really well for me. The main thing that I changed was the soil I'm using is I use 1 part a good quality potting mix. I use composted material, and then I use some sharp sand in it as well. I've had a few ups and downs with the rabbits. We've lost quite a few. So I had about 12 altogether from 2 mothers, but we're down to about 7 now. They just kept dying. There's a few things. I think the rabbits the mums may have been a little bit young. You know, they felt pregnant, but I should have waited a while. The second thing is I didn't really give the mums enough treats, enough carrots and apples and protein-based things to sort of, you know, help them with the lactation. The third thing is that I really didn't have the food right for the little ones. I was giving them some spinach, which I shouldn't have been doing, and not enough, just hay. 80-90% of their food is hay. So, you know, the carrots you see here are a treat, and I was feeding them too many treats. So, well, see, they look very healthy, but they just kept on, you know, dying, and they're just so cute. It's a bit hard, really. So, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I think, you know, you learn things as you go along, don't you? And you get better at things. And but it's hard to bring something like this into the world and then just have it die. You know, it's not a good feeling. This is our first year where we've really planted a bit more in this garden here, the house garden. Judging from the soil, it's always been a house garden. We pulled down a lot of apricot trees and old fences and things, but the soil, you can tell the soils are black, heavily worked soil here, quite rich. So we'll keep it as really the house garden. Got hydrangeas at the top there, then a row of creepers. I got raspberries, some thornless blackberries down the bottom, then there's asparagus and rhubarb, silver beet, some brassicas, then that corn down the end is one of those multicoloured ones. Then a couple of leftover corns that I had just from a little tray. Got some currants down there, some tomatoes on the trellis, some more spinach coming up there. Yes, there's lots of stuff in here. Some of it permanent, all the stuff in the trellises will be permanent, but this, and a row there of the asparagus and the rhubarb, but these 2 beds in the middle, they'll evolve we'll just keep planting stuff in that and harvesting. So that's it for this episode. I might get another one out before Christmas, I'm not sure yet. I've got a few things to do before Christmas. I've got to drink last year's Christmas present. 3 bottles of scotch that I haven't polished off yet, so no doubt I'll probably get a couple more bottles this year. So get rid of those in the next week and I'll be right. Anyway, have a good Christmas.